Hello, my name is Sheila S.Q. Bronson, and today I'll be talking to the board about legal and moral medical ethics. As healthcare professionals, we are held to a high standard of ethics. The foundation of these ethics stem from the Hippocratic Oath that was created approximately 2,500 years ago by a Greek physician, basically vowing not to willingly do harm to others. Now, ethics can be defined as the science of human duty or a composition of moral obligation from this science, regardless of the truth or its falsity. Now, as medical organization, we have the duty to promote quality care no matter who the charge is. Every life matters. Now, in order to be successful in this endeavor, one must adhere to a set of core challenges. I'm going to list the 4 that encompass all. Hold strong to the values that highlight care of the sick, spread understanding of core values to all staff, develop skills to identify threats and conflicts to those values, and only conduct business with those who are guided by the same or similar values. Now, there are also 4 important documents that every health care organization should have. The value statement that identifies the principal goal of the company and its commitment. The vision statement that sets out to convey the directional creativity and innovation of the company. The mission statement, which targets the underlying concept of the value statement and moves the organization's operations in such a way that it's headed toward its vision. And the code of conduct, which depicts the organization's desire for itself and its representative to reflect. Now, as a medical organization, we are expected to not only follow the policy and guidelines of the organization, but of the government and its overseeing agencies. The HIPAA law was enacted in 1974 and has since been revised in 1996, aimed at regulating various areas of the healthcare industry, which includes healthcare information or patient information, PHI, ensuring a patient's privacy. Now, PHI cannot under any circumstances be released to any person or entity without the patient's consent. Now, there are 18 identifiers that distinguish information as PHI, and I'm going to name some. Personal information such as names, phone numbers, and addresses. Also dates, birth dates, admission dates, and discharge dates. Social security numbers and insurance information all fall under PHI. Now, violations of HIPAA is not always intentional, as to err is truly human. And no matter how hard an entity strives to maintain patient privacy, breaches will happen. Most violations are considered civil, and there is a penalty of a fine. Now, there are 4 categories that these fines fall under, and they can range anywhere from $100 to $50,000 minimum per violation, and up to a max of 1.5 million annually per repeat violation. Now, for willful neglect for self-gain, there is a $250,000 fine plus criminal charges of up to 10 years. Patients' personal information should be an organization's priority, and having a compliance plan is a must. The compliance officer should be knowledgeable of the plan, implementing it and enforcing the plan at all times. Just ways to enforce protection: passwords should never be shared, and when a person is finished with their task, should always log out before leaving the computer terminal. Discussing personal patient information with unauthorized persons or within the earshot of unauthorized individuals is prohibited. If you suspect a breach, the The compliance officer should be notified immediately so that correction procedures can begin quickly to not only cut costs and lessen the legal downfall for the organization, but to also put protection measures in place to protect the patient from further damage. Patient rights encompass several aspects, such as patient empowerment, patient consent, and patient autonomy. Now, patient empowerment, is an open informational communication between physician and patient, promoting and enhancing the patient's knowledge, therefore leading to an informed medical decision. Patient autonomy means that the person has the right to decide whether or not they want to be touched. In other words, the patient has the right to refuse treatment or procedures with or without the physician's approval. Now, this ties into informed consent, which is composed of 5 elements. Adequate disclosure, inform the patient of what their medical condition is and what the procedure or medication is and the side effects with treatment and without. Decisional capacity of patient, making sure that the patient is both competent and has the ability to understand the information. Patient comprehension. While the patient may be legally competent, language and cultural barriers may present a problem. Freedom from coercion. Patients should not in any way be or feel that the decision is being forced upon them. And a patient's consent. There should be a place for the patient to either accept or decline their choice. It's their choice, and signed documentation is. Cultural barriers create inadequate health care, willful or not. Patients and healthcare professionals who are unable to communicate with their patients, the patients likely end up in poor health. Healthcare organizations have the moral and ethical duty to provide adequate services to patients and cater to their values, their beliefs, and their health goals. If the physician does not pay attention to the cultural, religious, and linguistic factor, this could breed mistrust between the physician and the organization of the racial and ethnic groups. In an effort to promote quality care, there are still citizens that suffer. Minorities are less likely to receive medical treatment that will save their life, while white patients are more likely to receive that care. Even still, racial and ethnic minorities are more likely to receive last resort medical procedures and treatment. These disparities are spread throughout the United States by economics, social class, race, and geographic region. Now, in order to reduce social injustice, which is an issue that needs to be solved in the political process, societal structure, and through government policies, administrators must do all within their power to enforce policies and laws that govern equal rights of patients for fair treatment. Allocation of resources can cause conflicts with the medical organization, even though all structures share the same goal for quality patient health care. All have a responsibility from the CEO to the single physician and must not let the conflict cloud their judgment or steer them from the organization's value statements and mission statements. Resources must be distributed in a just and moral fashion. The ultimate goal of serving the greater good. Coming up with alternatives such as referrals and outsourcing rather than not offering patients another direction. Cost containment is a major concern for any organization. For healthcare organizations, it is a waste of resources such as unnecessary testing of patients. It is also failure to stay compliant with government agencies and laws such as HIPAA, OSHA, and the Joint Commission, which leads to fines. Staying on top of documentation, staff training, and certification will greatly help contain costs. Thank you.